Directorul executiv al Băncii Mondiale, Kristalina Georgieva, a participat în România la un seminar dedicat rolului femeii în societatea modernă, între delegare de competențe, leadership și discriminare de gen. Kristalina Georgieva a absolvit Academia de Studii Economice din Sofia. După o carieră didactică de 14 ani, a devenit economist la Banca Mondială. A fost apoi comisar european și vicepreședinte al Comisiei Europene pentru buget. Anul acesta a fost pentru o scurtă perioadă de timp președinte interimar al Băncii Mondiale. Kristalina Georgieva a acordat un interviu în exclusivitate televiziunii publice.
Mrs. Georgieva, you have visited Romania in the past, both as high-level representative of the European Commission and as World Bank official. How does Romania look to you today?
I love being back in Romania. I should start by saying that my very first trip abroad, outside of Bulgaria, was to Romania, and I still have very fond memories of traveling 3 days around the country. When I first came in the 90s as a World Bank representative, I was working on projects in Romania. Of course, the country was in much more a difficult place. I remember that then income per capita was $1,190. Today, 10 times more. Romania clearly is much more vibrant, and Bucharest in particular is the city to be in. I look around and what I see is dynamism. Maybe it is useful to mention that my trip to Romania as a commissioner in 2010 was because of a major disaster, floods that have affected the country quite dramatically.
Yes.
And at that time, I was impressed by the speed of response and the quality with which the Romanian civil protection acted in a moment of emergency. Proud to say that from the Commission, I played a small role to make the civil protection of Europe stronger, including for Romania. And now from the World Bank, Romania is one of our most effective partners when it comes down to disaster preparedness, disaster risk reduction.
How many projects are from World Bank in this moment with Romania?
What we have right now is a portfolio in Romania that we are building up with 2 very important projects in preparation. One is a project to build the health system of Romania towards focus on results. We just talked about it with the Minister of Finance. This would be 500 million euros project, and as we do it, what I look forward to is focus on the patient, on prevention, and on very effective system that is concentrated on outcomes rather than inputs. The second area of engagement that is hugely important is education. We have an ongoing project with the short name that is very close to my heart because it is rose. And rose is the flower of Bulgaria. It is to help schools in poorer areas, schools that are falling behind, to have the incentive to catch up, so children don't drop out, they graduate, and hopefully with skills that serve them further. We want to take this very successful project, scale it up, because Romania has many assets, but the very best asset you have is you, the Romanian people.
Yes, in the field of education, Romania has a huge problem with children leaving the school. 18%, I think, was at the level of the European Union, perhaps one of the most important percentage. So perhaps this project will be very useful.
What we have seen, and thank you for bringing the numbers, they are quite dramatic. Romania is losing talent because children drop out of school. In the schools we work with the ROSE project, the dropout rate is now reduced from almost 7% to 3%. This means that hundreds of children graduate. And I was told a very touching story of a young girl that was just about to drop out. And then as part of this project, she was tested. How good is she? What are her talents? And the test said she's very good. She got motivated to become a doctor, graduated at the age of 18, and now is in medical school. These are human stories aggregated. This is the future of the country.
As a professional in development, where do you see Romania's potential coming from?
You know,
you mentioned already people.
let me make an observation that is one I hope the World Bank can contribute to do something about, and it is connectivity and infrastructure. Traveling around Bucharest, I saw only one site for a motorway to Constanța. There is potential in the country to build physical infrastructure, not only for people to travel more conveniently, but also for goods to travel, for rural areas that are, many of them, falling behind, to be connected to markets. And that takes me to the second area where Romania can do better. And it is the bringing closer, prosperous, vibrant urban areas and the rest of the country. Very similar to my own country, Bulgaria, where there are like two Bulgarias, one that is dynamic, wealthy, and another one that is falling behind. And the same is happening here. So how can we be more successful in bringing these two divergent parts of the country closer? It comes down to many aspects, how regional funds are being used, what is being done to create more opportunities locally, the quality of services. People very often leave just because the hospitals are not quite there, the schools are not functioning so well. So in a way, the two projects I mentioned on health and education hopefully would aid, and if we can do more to improve the physical connectivity in the country, I would be very happy for you and for our work. If I could make a very simple observation, I have worked in 100+ countries in my career, the World Bank, also with the Commission. And one thing that is so very simple and obvious is that countries do well when they act simultaneously on three fronts. Physical infrastructure, today I would add digital infrastructure, educated people, educated, healthy, productive, rule of law, strong institutions. I see for us in Bulgaria, for you here in Romania, that we do quite a lot in these three areas. Perhaps we can do even more for more harmonious development, so we can see our children living in more coherent, more rich, not just in material sense, in terms of harmony, countries.
Do you see in the next near future, highway between Bucharest and Sofia? Only 350 kilometers.
So good you ask. I actually talked about that with the leadership here in the country, and I have been talking about it with my own country on the other side of the border. And yes, I do. I think that the functionality of this is so very obvious, and actually it goes beyond Bulgaria, Romania. In the Balkans, we ought to strive for more integration, regional integration, more connectivity. And I'm confident that closing these gaps that make it so absurd that we take so long to travel between our two capitals, or for that matter across the Balkans, that is becoming a high priority. Bulgaria made the Balkans a priority in its own presidency, so did Austria, so is doing Romania. I think we have a momentum being built, and here is our offer from the bank. We would be happy, we do that in many places, to be this independent, trusted advisor of identifying gaps and then creating strong investment plans for these gaps to be closed. So hopefully when I come next time, I would be zipping from Bulgaria, from Sofia to Bucharest or vice versa. By the way, tomorrow I am driving back from here to Bulgaria. I would have a chance to see what is the gap.
You and your institution pay a special attention to gender issues. Today you have participated as keynote speaker in the conference on the role of modern woman between empowerment, leadership and gender discrimination. What is, in a few words, the role of a woman in our society today?
Women are critical for families, communities and countries to be prosperous. No one can succeed only walking on one leg. We have to be a society where men and women fully contribute. Today, in an average economy, a woman has 3/4 of the legal rights of a man. That is clearly not good enough if we want peaceful and prosperous societies to live in.
You will receive the Dr. Honoris Causa award from the National School of Political and Administrative Studies. What will be the main ideas of your first speech in front of the students?
What I would like to do is, of course, to express my incredible appreciation for the honor I'm given, and very simply convey the message that everyone can reach their full potential. Anyone can succeed in this open world of ours. My life is that story. A girl from the East that today is running one of the best known institutions of the West, one of the Bretton Woods institutions. And the question I ask myself is, how can we make sure that everyone, every boy, every girl, are reaching their full potential? At the World Bank, and this is what I would be talking about, we have calculated the total wealth of the world. To our surprise, what we discovered is that 2/3 of this wealth of nature and infrastructure in institutions and people, 2/3 is us, it is people. The richer a country is, the higher the share of human capital in its wealth. Poor country has less of that component, human capital. So we want to be successful, we want to be rich tomorrow, we have to invest in our people today and make sure that every child is able to go to school, learn for the rest of their life, and have the confidence to be who you are. Reach high, get far.
Mrs. Georgieva, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.